Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Libra August 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, we have a very interesting deck this month. It's centered around creatures known as the Fae, spelt F-E-Y in English, otherwise known as fairies. Before you say it's baby stuff, certainly young children have a great affinity with the Fae, it seems to me. But they have an understanding of the broader reality in general, I think, before it gets knocked out of them as they start to grow older. Don't you find that? Anyway, the Fae had a long theological tradition in ancient Persia. It certainly formed part of hundreds of years' worth of early Christian thought. I guess in some respects it could be said to be forming part also of Vedic tradition, the Hindu part of the world, India and the subcontinent, maybe the Devas. Devas, of course, are beings of light, and the Fae were said to manifest by way of little wisps of flame or of light. In any event, we will look at them. The art is great. Now, of course, you know that I provide clairvoyant readings for people from all over the world over FaceTime and Skype. Clairvoyance shows up at about 1 in 10 million people, I think, from what I can see, or psychic awareness, whatever you might want to call it. Clairvoyance is what I call it. It's a spiritual gift. It's very rare. Now, I charge for that. Of course, the details are in the description. It's very easy to do over FaceTime and Skype. But there's another gift which I was given at birth, and that's the gift of healing. Now, I provide that for free, without any obligation, without any strings attached. You won't be sold or recommended anything. Nothing will be promoted to you. You won't be talked into having a reading by me or anybody else. It literally is just what it is. Now, the purpose of it seems to me, is number one, I have to use it. That's why I've got it. And the purpose of it is to produce good in that very limited or broader sense of the word, and I don't know why I was given it. There's nothing special about me, but there it is, and I've been doing it for a long time, and all I know is that it works. I don't know. It's like the children with the Fae. There's a broader reality out there. So if that speaks to you, there could be a hole in your soul that needs to be filled, or maybe a candle in your heart that needs to be set alight. I think you might feel that, don't you? Or some distress or emotional problems, physical issues or something like that. Then I just encourage you, reach out and do it. I'm happy to do it. I have to do it, in a sense. And I want to make use of it because it clearly is part of my sole purpose here, and so in that respect it's selfish on my part. But I want to do what I'm supposed to do because I don't want to have to come back again, if you know what I mean. Not that I haven't enjoyed myself, I have since I have been here. I mean, probably too much has to be said at times, but now we're going to take 5 cards, and the art in this just is very good to decipher the cosmic energies that are swirling around you. Let's have a look. The Wheel of Fortune. Great color in this. 7 of Air. Beautiful painting. There's beautiful pictures. The Empress. Well, how can you go wrong with the Empress? What's this? The Moon. Isn't that interesting, the Moon? Let's whip around here a bit and see what this is for you. And it is the 4 of Water. Well, why don't I bring the camera around? You and I can have a really good close look at the art that's on these cards and the color together, while the energy speaks to you and I, and I'll do the reading for you. It is as if it is being said, look what I am giving you, abundance and good fortune. I'm giving you power, fertility. I'm giving you love. I'm bringing you more love here, and success and triumph over your darkest fears. And yet, there is this point here where you just will not take advantage of the gift I have given to you. Well,
This is a message rather than saying that something is not going to happen or that something is going to happen. Let's look at the Wheel of Fortune first. Let's see what it has to say, shall we? I actually really like the art on these things, I must say. Here we have a couple of fairies that really ensure that daytime and nighttime are equally represented. They are the yin and the yang, the opposites through which throughout all of manifestation are required in order to bring about attraction and multiplication. Let's have a look and see now. See, here's this growth here with these two flowers. What a great little painting that is. And let's have a look to see what's going on, shall we? And it is, well, first of all, there's the planet of Jupiter here. Jupiter is that great planet that, if you like, puts a handbrake on the expansive flow of manifestation so that manifestation can catch up with it. And the good aspects of manifestation can become embedded and the bad aspects let go before moving on again. But Jupiter here is speaking to you of new beginnings and expansion, a great degree of creativity, probably a big breakthrough, I think. There's unexpected fortune and good luck coming your way. A chance opportunity. I think winning is the important thing that's coming here. This is a time when really you should live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Now, of course, there will be a few ups and downs. That's normal, that's life. But there is also the possibility of a life-changing meeting with somebody here who could actually have some big impact upon your life. Good luck that's around here. Change of fortune. This talks about a turning point for the better if things have not been going all that well for you. In fact, that unexpected change that's coming into your life, that turning point, it is going to be favorable, but it may not necessarily seem as if it is at first. It might take some time to sink in. So be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities that come your way. Look out for them, see them. They will show up in the most unexpected of places and in the guise of the most unexpected of people. Change is about to happen. Now, you may need to alter your present course or change things around to set the stage for the right outcomes to come into your life. But always do remain centered, of course, because then it doesn't matter which way that wheel turns. But if no miracles are happening now, something is wrong, because you stand before the possibility of a great breakthrough. So use this moment and ask yourself this: are you really ready for the great fortune? What's standing in the way? Say this to yourself: I am a prosperous individual. I am flexible in times of change. I enjoy making external those things which are within me, make them happen, to manifest the internal goodness externally. And abundance which created me is what I am. I am abundance, and I am now ready for the miracle of my life. Well, we just had a look at the great benefic being Jupiter. Now we look at the lesser benefic being Venus, because Venus is all around here. Venus, the planet of, amongst other things, attraction and desire to live life. Now there's beauty coming into your life here. This Empress, I think, and if you look at her, she's pregnant, isn't she? And she's in a field there, or an environment which is full of flowers and just life in general. Well, she really stands for and commands the feminine in all of its forms. And her form and her surroundings, well, they're just really, they're marked by beauty and wholeness, aren't they? Don't you feel a sense of well-being just being in her presence here, taking part in the harmony of her being and of nature? But her beauty isn't restricted only to the externally visible. Her femininity is fully evolved on all levels of her being, and that gives her a special radiance. She is a mother and a lover. She is a ruler, and maybe something of a wise woman or a witch at the same time. And her strength rests in the unifying of the highest spiritual values in their understandable forms with the material qualities of life. Now, I guess that the real characteristics of her realm, they're really love in its giving and receptive aspects. And I'm getting that from the white and the red. It's also about creativity and fruitfulness, which I'm getting from this green colour of her skin. And also about understanding and wisdom, which I'm getting from these lilac colours of these plants here. Now, she's saying to me that you are going to... Now, I notice that she is pregnant. You are probably going to hear of pregnancy or of birth, or there could well be the birth or the delivery of a project or the creation of an idea. Really a good idea, I think. And I do think that this is a time when you are going to get in touch with the beauty of your life. You may well be exploring a relationship you have with your mother or with a child, or acting as a maternal figure to someone. Yeah, I think that's possible there as well. I think you're going to be very caring for people, and you'll be nurturing others, giving them good advice, giving them good counsel, nurturing them, looking after them, and also looking after yourself. She truly is the daughter of the mighty ones, I think, and you may find that you have a strong love for nature. You will be a natural parental figure, I'll say that. You could find that you become quite service-oriented, and no one's actually going to be able to pigeonhole you. No one's going to be able to say, oh, you're definitely this or definitely that. In fact, I think that you might end up being... People might find you quite mysterious during this period here. However, people will look for you, to show the way as to what should be done. You'll have a strong leadership ability here. This is a particularly good energy for women in general, I think. Now, you might also find that you are balancing your emotions here. It's a highly creative time, and it is definitely a time for you to own your leadership ability. Do you know that the beauty that you see in others, which attracts you to them, that's really a beauty that you carry within yourself? You are in the process of unfolding and evolving your femininity. The men don't worry about this at the moment. We all have aspects of feminine and masculine within us. This could well be the right time to work through and clarify any mother-daughter, mother-son, father-son principles that have not yet been sorted out. But maybe you should ask yourself this too. In your life, is there a beautiful, strong woman from whom you would like to learn or to whom you could model yourself on? There's plenty of people out there in the movie business who you might want to take into account in that situation. Visualize your ideal woman. Write down her most important qualities, and then try to find those in other people and yourself. And surround yourself with beauty and abundance. Say this to yourself: I give and I receive wisely. I realize that receiving things is equally powerful and beneficial as it is to give things. I value the healing power of beauty, harmony, and love. And as for me, I am filled with power and beauty. And then we come to this message for you, which is saying that, look at everything I'm giving you, and yet, do you still think like this? Do you still carry on like this? Given everything that you have in your favor, given that you have the spark of the divine within you, do you still go on? Here is this creature, something of a shape shifter, I think. Something that I would not listen to. Look at the color of these plants here. This is something which is deceptive, in my opinion. That's what I'm getting up from it. And that's added to by these unholy looking creatures that are in the background. Well, here we have the moon in the third decan of Aquarius. Well, what might that mean for you? Well, it means this. It means that the emotions of the moon, you can understand the moon is what reflects the sun onto the planet, and it is the giver of life onto the planet. Well, the emotions of the moon, they cloud the intellectual qualities of Aquarius. So Aquarius, which is quite intellectual and detached, it is weakened by the moon. And that is giving you a sense of lack of clarity, even to the extent of some sort of a discouragement, fear, negative expectations, feeling as if you can't do something, procrastination, working beneath your own standards even. If I'm to look at the planets of the solar system, you might be in the situation where you have Neptune coming along and saying, everything seems to be clouded by a film or veil, I just don't know what I really want. Or Venus saying, but it's just too good to be true. Or Mars, I haven't the energy, there's no time, or I'm already too old. There is no such thing as too old, just as there is no such thing as too young. Jupiter may be saying that that's just too much good at once. I could never cope with so much success. There's a heavy anxiety around here, even though things are actually, for you, going really well. But let me get back to these planets. Mercury might be saying to you, oh, look, but you're just not going to be able to communicate it properly. You're not going to be able to put it across in a way that people can understand. Or Saturn saying, it's simply too much trouble. It takes too long. Well, these literally destructive thoughts, they don't need to be taken seriously, because the reality is very different from what your perception of it is. You're going to laugh over your doubts. And remember, act, take action, make a decision. If you make the wrong decision, you can always make another decision. There are subconscious doubts dominating, I suspect, which are holding you back. Your mind might be distracted at a time when you need to be focused. Maybe it seems to you that difficulties are insurmountable at times. Perhaps this could just be an excuse, because your fears have nothing to do with reality. Wake up and see what's happening. And in what areas of your life do you diminish yourself with your own limited ideas? What are your constricting belief systems? Say that I master all the skills and means needed to achieve those things that I long for most deeply, and I will act. Let me tell you a story, and that might put this thing into some perspective. Now, The ideal situation for a man or a woman to die is to have their family members praying with them as they cross over, isn't it? Well, imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed. And not only do you have family members there, but you also have standing around you the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never leant in for that kiss. You never said those words. You never used those gifts. And imagine that there they are, standing around your being, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever." An unholy miscarriage. And imagine, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts will die with you. Their own miscarriage will be your physical death. Do you know, the greatest wealth doesn't lie in the oil fields of the Middle East, nor does it lie in the gold mines of China and Australia. The greatest wealth lies in the cemeteries. The greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, the talents, large or small, never actualized. Well, enough on that. You get the point. Now let's have a look here, which is the Four of Water. Gee, this is interesting, isn't it? This sort of reminds me of that old Greco-Roman myth of Narcissus, you know, that guy that stared at himself in the pond all day. Here we have a mermaid so captured by her beauty that she spends all of her time looking at herself. Now here's a fairy that seems to find her attractive, and is she bringing her a flower? It's hard to say. Wants to catch her attention, pass on words of her affection perhaps, but this thing doesn't see it. And this is always ignored because this mermaid is looking in here, whereupon this fairy no doubt will get to the point where it dries up the lake, and there will be nothing for this to look at again. Now here we have the moon again, this time in the third decade of Cancer. Well, the moon is the ruler of Cancer, as you know. The moon is one of the luminaries, the other luminary being the sun. Both the sun and the moon are classified as planets within astrology. Whoops, excuse me while I bash my head on that. There we go, give myself brain damage. Well, if it's possible there could be any further brain damage. But the luminaries, the sun and the moon, are both considered planets, of course. Well, the moon is associated with the principle of flux and reflux and of digging deep. But what this is speaking of is love, tenderness, care, and emotional riches for you. I think that this is also speaking of love that you have received from others. And this is part of the emotional richness which fulfills you, expressing itself in your environment through beauty and luxury, I think. Now, the ability to accept this love in humility and thankfulness reveals an inner fullness which can be shared with other people here. I think this also brings about an opportunity for you to shift stuck energy, because when this enters, it may be that you are feeling something out of sync, uncertain, maybe even apathetic about life. Not sure what actions to take. Anyway, the way to understand this is about looking deep into yourself and looking at and reevaluating old, outgrown emotional parts. The gift, though, is the restoration of emotional balance, bringing peace, renewal, and movement, emotional movement. Probably also a good idea to open yourself to the whispers of the soul self and of the divine itself. I don't think that this is a time to be making any hasty conclusions or decisions, but do ask yourself what feels outgrown, what do you need to let go of, and then how do you do that? And what is going to bring fulfillment into your life? But also embrace the cycles of change that we referred to at the beginning there as well. This does bring you now the opportunity to open yourself to heart wisdom, and it allows you to shift and move stuck energy, regenerating your heart, your mind, and your senses. Now, you are being given a lot of love and devotion, so enjoy it without becoming dependent on it. Ask yourself, though, are you in any relationship in which you feel restricted? Yeah. If you are, then, obviously, don't turn to material things for happiness, because you get bored with those, you'll spend a lot of money, but deal with the issue at hand. And then finally we come to this moon card. Here's another thing that you want to be careful of, I think, in my mind. I'm looking at this creature contemplating herself under the moonlight, but these shadow aspects sort of come from her, out of her subconscious, and make her think that they are actually real, whereas they are not. And this is a time when you might be asking yourself the question, is it a reality, or is it an illusion? Now, I suppose one could say this is Neptune in Pisces with Venus exalted. Well, as we know, Pisces is associated with the subconscious and with the emotions and with intuitive ability. And Neptune's watery depths are associated with dreams and visions and the imagination. So there's an element here of a sort of a final testing, maybe a wrong turn, a wrong decision. Don't ever be afraid of making a wrong decision, because you can always make another decision to fix it up. But there's illusion about, there's some deception around here, a period of mental confusion. Do you have great clarity on what's going on around you? You could have very great intuition about what somebody or something is up to, such that you may find out a secret. And as a result of finding out that secret, you may then find yourself almost as if you're out in a forest at night, cloud cover, no moon, no light, going, which way do I go? But the darkest hour is just before the dawn, the sun comes up, and then you know which way to go. Definitely there's something going on that's not as it appears to be. Deceiving situation. This could be your shadow self, though, is what I see here, of course. Feelings from childhood that have been locked up and act as a handbrake. But you have heard the call of the unknown, and you are at the threshold of new experience. So pay attention to that voice in your heart, and just look at other people around you carefully. The darkest hour is just before the dawn. Well done, you. Great job.
It seems that whenever I do a reading for you like this, that I always get so much out of it myself. So I hope that you certainly did. I find out more about myself, and inexplicably, somehow or other, it seems to me that I find out more about what is going on in the broader realm, in the cosmic realm. I enjoyed doing that, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did giving it to you. Now, unless I see you privately for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.